Hello, everyone. Welcome to a spiritual spotlight series. Today, I am joined by the amazing Zelda Hotaling, this is going to be a very long list, everyone. She is a spirit guide healer and intuitive reader. I've had a reading with her and she's phenomenal. Creator of the Sacred Dream Circles, Dream and Rattle Maker, also the teacher of how to make those. Creator of personal shields, which I found to be fascinating. I want to hear more about that. Zelda, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
One of the things I kind of want to ask you about was that on your website, it says that you were raised in the Native American tradition, and it looks like you were in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So before we start,
Sure, of course.
I would just like to give thanks to Creator and thanks to the Mother. And we give thanks to the water and to the people and to my ancestors. And we pile all our gratefulness and thankfulness up to them. And now our minds could be one. And we say, yeah, yes, or huh.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep continuing. I'll make my Thanksgiving address pretty short because I only have a little time. So then we're going to give thanks to all the swimmers, and we're going to give thanks to the shell people and all the little bugs that swim on the creeks, to the oceans, to the rivers. We give thanks to the embankment of the rocks, our stone people. We give thanks to also the grass. And we also give thanks to the shrubs and the flowers and those beautiful flowers. And each one is so sweet, just like each one of you, because even though we might be all the same flower, our petals are different, our clothing is different. And so just know everybody is perfect just the way they are. And even to the medicine plants, we give thanks to them. And we pile all our gratefulness and thankfulness up to Creator. And now our minds can be one. We also give thanks to the four-leggeds and the slithery ones. We give thanks to the reptiles. We give thanks to the standing ones. And we give thanks to the winged ones. And we go up into the thunder beings, to the four directions and the four winds. And we pile all our gratefulness and thankfulness up to Creator. And now our minds can be one. We want to give thanks also to the thunder beings. And we want to give thanks to Grandmother Moon and Brother Sun. And we want to give thanks to all the beautiful stars up there, because Grandmother wears them around her neck so beautifully. And each one of those little sparkles is the sparkle inside of you. So she holds you and cares you in the beautiful moonlight. We want to give also thanks to the great mystery and to the old ones and the ancient ones. And if I might have forgotten something, place that in your mind. And we give all the gratitude and the thankfulness. We pile all the way up to Creator. And now our minds are one. Thank you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful energy that was coming forward. That was amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. So anyway, I was raised, why I say I was raised on mixed blood, and I was raised up in Oganawage with the Mohawk people. So my father was an iron worker, and so we lived in Albany. I was born in Massachusetts, so we hung out in Albany mostly because that was like the main hub. And he was a foreman, and matter of fact, he brought a lot of our people down into the city and to this New York City up to Lake Placid. So in the summers when I was younger, I used to go up and stay with my aunt, my grandmother, and my cousins up there. so that's why I say I was raised. So we used to do the powwows, we used to do the beadwork, and and the beadwork was really nice, but it wasn't really my forte.
Mhm,
My forte was more texture, and I
mhm.
love texture and feeling what the fibers are, what the mother has given us. So I played around with different types of fibers. So I used to weave a lot. And then I went into woodworking, and then I went into the rawhide and the drumming and creating things out of a whole entire animal, from tools to different sculptures and things like that, even looking at trees. So I went from beadwork to my own work, but the prayers are always there, because the beading is actually, the beadwork is all the flowers and everything. And in the tradition, it's all beautiful flowers and designs and
Yeah,
everything. And I feel like I took the beadwork and made it into the natural fibers of how I create things.
yeah.
And the hoops, the 21 sacred dream circles, they are to pay homage to the iron workers, which we call the skywalkers.
Now, in 2012, you had this profound vision of these sacred dream circles. Can you tell us a little bit? Because we see 3 circles right now that are behind you. Can you tell us a little bit
And
about this? I love it. And they have so much profound energy that comes through them. If you wouldn't mind sharing a bit about that.
yeah, so in 2012, well, 2011 is when someone asked me to make like a 5, 6, or 7 foot dream catcher.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, I could do that. So I got challenged. And then things fell through, and I made the hoop, but
Yeah.
I had so many teachings when I made that hoop. And that one there is called Reset. And what it did, it reset my mind. And then I says, well, I'm going to just play around with a 7 foot hoop for the heck of it. And so I did a 7 foot dream catcher, but all of a sudden, creators said we wanted it differently. We wanted it with metals and crystals, and I never could have crystals in my house. I
Wow.
couldn't have any type of crystals lay on top of me, and I couldn't wear crystals because they would burn me.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. So from all the rawness, like doing bark baskets, drum making, it's all the raw, rich
Mhm.
Mother Earth stuff. So when you're getting into the metals and the crystals, it really went in a whole different direction. But I created the one, and I got really nervous on even creating that. What came through is when I was making it, I was telling people about it, and I was so enchanted by the vision that it started taking me. And a lot of my spiritual friends at one point, they were like, oh my God, you're getting abducted by aliens. And I'm like, what? And then, and different people of different cultures were saying different things to me,
Mhm.
and which allowed me to drop away everybody and to really focus on one. And then 2 more came. So there
Mhm.
was 3 for 12/21/12.
Wow.
And we opened up the circle, and that's where the Mayan calendar shifted. And that's when we were doing a ceremony at this place, and there was 3 doors there, all locked. And when we got to a point, I felt myself say, get up. Creator said, get up and start drumming.
Oh my
I
goodness.
started drumming, and all 3 doors flew open. I even have a picture of this blue streak coming down right into the center of the hoops. So we got connected to the whole world that was doing this transformation.
Wow.
So from that point, is when that was the first three. And
Mhm.
then the next year, because it was in December, that's when I got the hit to do two more. And it was said for me to quit my job, which that was even a fluke all in itself. I was driving the bus, I'll make it short. I was driving the bus on a field trip. I ended up in Albany, and it was the retirement on State and Pearl. And I walked in there. They asked me if I had a birth certificate or a passport. And I was like, no, I'm on a field trip. Well, come to find out, I have an enhanced license back then. And so I was able to go through. The lady typed up everything. I just wanted to see what I would get, you know. And I just turned 55 at that time, a week prior, and I had 25 and a quarter years in. She typed everything up, asked me all the information, and she goes, this is how much you would get now, or you could wait. And I says, oh, all right. And she goes, all right. And I went, yeah. And so the way that I was looking at it was like, oh, thank you. Like, all right.
Right.
And she goes, well, sign here. And I thought it was like a document where, you know, you get a releasement. All right. She gave me the information.
Yeah.
She goes, so when do you want your check? In August? And I says, what? She goes, yeah, you're retired. I said, I retired. I didn't even know. So that was the beginning. And I just want to say to people, if you follow your dream, but it's not pushing your dream.
Mm.
It's not being pushy. This is what I want, because Creator knows exactly when you're supposed to do whatever it is. And that is what is so important, because after I left there, I said to Creator, well, you better show me, you know, that you got my back. If I'm going to do this, I got 3 days to cancel it. I went down to the Subway and I bought a chicken teriyaki sub. And it was a full one, chicken teriyaki. Think about that. But it was $9.99. She goes, oh my gosh, it's a special. I says, it's a special. And she goes, yes, it's $1.99. And I went, what? And you get a soda and chips. And I was like, really? And I said, for a full length sub. And she went, yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, I walked out. I says, all right, Creator, you got my back.
Yeah. But that's such a valid point, though, about making sure that you're following, there's a plan for you and not to push it. That's really important.
That's very important, because
Yeah.
each one of these hoops broke me down to be with the energy, to be supported by the energy,
Mhm.
feel the vision of the energy, and going through whatever the blocks were that stopped me from that higher vibration.
Wow.
And every one of these hoops brought me to my knees, because there's stories on each one.
Yeah.
We would have to talk days on that one.
I know.
But what I'm just saying to you is, just because you want something, that is like demanding. When
Ooh.
you're being with a vision, you're actually building the relationship with that vision and letting it unfold in your dreams.
Wow. And how many total dream circles do you have now?
I have, right at this point, because 4 more are going to get made, I have 21 of them.
And you have 4
13
more that are coming.
Yeah, because it's the star system. I have the 3 up on the ceiling, so it's Pleiades, Polaris, and Orion's belt. And then there's the rest of the 7 brothers. So there's the other 4 is going to complete the star system.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. And you also have a book that talks about all of these dream circles.
Yeah, it's a nice little book. So, and you could read it and like, I am that type of person. It's like, let's just get to the point.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, I want to know. So, so that's how I wrote it. You know, it's like what each one felt to me, but it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that it actually has to be and follow what I'm saying either. Because what your relationship with each one of the hoops is very special for you,
Right,
not for me.
right. And it's
Yeah.
also, it sounds like a very personal journey that everyone
Every
goes
one of
through.
them,
Yeah.
every one of them open up the portal of what is it that you are not digesting.
Belief wise, energy wise, all things wise.
Yeah, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Why are you doing the things you're doing? Why is it that you're putting things on the shelf? Why are you expecting things? Why is it you have to keep asking yourself why? Because then what is the thought behind that process? What is the feeling that is attached to that process? And how are you going to take action if it is trying to overtake the
Mhm.
process in any given way?
Wow.
So you really need to become stronger and be rooted. People say to be grounded. I want to get rooted. I want to go deep into the earth. I love her so much that she kisses me every morning, with her beautiful, the sunrise coming up in the beautiful colors. Even if there isn't any sunrise,
Yeah.
that's okay too, because at least I opened my eyes and I saw daylight and my feet hit the floor.
Amen. You bring up a very valid point though. Do you feel like if you weren't rooted into Mother Earth, that you may not have brought forward these visions and been able to peel back these layers?
Um, I learned to get rooted through the process.
Gotcha.
And you know what the sweetness is?
What's that?
The sweetness is when I got to the 13, because it was called shifts happen in threes. And
Ooh,
then it turned to shifts happen in threes and beyond,
ooh,
because then it was
yeah.
going beyond three. And then when I got to the 13th one, when we built the bridge and we met heaven and earth, the star system and the earth planes, what happened was Creator said to me, you can now call it the sacred dream circles. And if you listen to the next three words and take the first three letters of these three words, because no one ever really looks towards me anymore. So we're going to call it the great open door. The three letters, the first three letters.
I'm like G O D. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
That took me a second. I'm sorry.
it's okay. You're funny. You're funny.
I love that. Now you also work with making drums, making rattles, sound vibrations is also very important. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So for the past 30 years, I've been a drum maker. And then I started sharing with people the past, I would say, 25 years
Mm-hmm.
is how to make your own drum.
Oh,
And that is like so many people are telling me they need it. And so the vibration of the drum is not only just having a drum and banging on it and doing your hoo-hoo, things like that, but how is it that you can work with the drum on a frequency? How is it that you can be able to create these pockets of energies to open up where the mother kisses the father, just like this, just like that. And when it kisses just like that, what it does, it creates that heart opening, that lotus energy that opens up and arises our vibration up. But we're rooted in the earth. So we're not actually leaving our body. We're allowing Creator and Spirit to come down through our body.
yeah.
So with the drum, that's where the teachings come. They, I have 3 different animals and I don't tell them what they are. They have to introduce themselves to all the skins, and the animal will pick them. And that's pretty awesome too, because you see different changes happening all the
Yeah.
time. Where I really want that one, but when you're in a circle and somebody wants that part of it, what happens? The little kid comes up, I want that. So, but that's really a really core issue, is why is it that you want that? It's that kind of,
Mm.
and yeah,
Gimme,
I
gimme.
can't get what I want. Yeah, right. So that's just the beginning of making the hoop,
Wow.
and also sanding the hoop, which is your foundation. So it's your foundation, and then painting it and creating from that's your inner child coming out. And then that's where the child is like, I want that. But see, it goes back to that part, excuse me, it goes back to that part of the self of feeling rejected, abandoned, not good enough. Why me? All those little parts that we've been leaving ourselves behind for so long, but we still carry them up to this time of our age now. So the drum opens up. And what I do is I feel the hoops intuitively, and I actually do a reading with each person. And I get flashes of your whole life sometimes, from where you're sitting all the way back to the minute where you gave away yourself or you let yourself go. And
Wow.
then I just say the age, and then you have to work on the process throughout the whole day. And last year, in 1 year, I shared how to make drums with 138 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so that my name is really moving along here, and especially around the drums.
Yeah.
Let me get a drink for, excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so the drum is a very important part of my life. It's my medicine. It's also, some people carry the prayer pipe. The drum is my prayer pipe. The circles are my prayer pipe.
Mhm.
The prayer pipe is my prayer pipe. But, it's I can travel in prayer in prayer with all of these.
It sounds like when you're doing these beautiful, like, drumming and teaching people these things, it's almost like you're helping them fuse back soul fragments that have maybe become dislodged from them and putting them back to whole.
The way I hear you saying it that way, the way that I look at it is, when we're younger,
Yeah.
we're out playing with our toys and our mother calls us in and we get distracted. And then we leave, we pick up the toys, but we forget one. And it falls like under a bush, and the
Yeah.
bush gets bigger every year. And then as we get older, we might go back to your mom and dad's house, maybe, or your grandma's, or
Yeah.
wherever. And the bush has gotten so big and out of control, you dig up the bush, and what's there is that part, that little piece that you just put aside. It didn't go away. You
Mhm.
just laid it down someplace in the body that is distracting you through pain, through physical body, of what is it? Why is it that my wrist is always hurting? Why is it that my back is always hurting? Because it's that piece that we didn't fit all the pieces of the puzzle together. We didn't have that, all of our little toys that we brought back in. We left one out there.
I think that that's a beautiful way of saying it, like almost like, okay, there's a toy car that's under this bush. And that by
Part of
picking
your
up this,
vehicle.
yeah, I love that. That's amazing. Now, you do a lot of shamanic work and being a shamanic practitioner, and I'm not too familiar with that modality. I'm on the outskirts of it. Can you tell us a little bit? I know it's working with the earth. Can you tell us a little bit what that means to you?
First of all, I don't,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's all right. I don't call it shamanic.
Oh, please
No,
educate me.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
and you won't see it on there, on
Okay.
my website. I work with different medicines.
Medicines. Okay.
And yeah, and the medicines that I carry is going into all these different worlds, into different parts of the body sometimes, or parts of the earth where we need to bring prayer to the
Yeah.
mother in some way, or the waters, the prayers of the waters. So I like making things simple, because simplicity is when you start using all these different terms and different words, where it all bounces back to is what? You're talking to creator. Creator is telling you what to do, and then you follow it if you choose to.
Yeah.
And if you do, I feel for me, it's a bonus every time,
Yeah.
maybe for other people. But you have to realize, you have to really watch if it's creator or if it's the ego. So you really have to watch that too.
How can you tell the difference if it's creator or if it's ego for you? How can you tell the difference?
How I tell it's the difference when it's not unsettling, when it's like, oh, all right, I just get this really nice, easy energy that comes through. And again, I'm going to use the word pushy. It's like you should do that now. This is a really great idea. We need to do it now. That's more ego.
I know it goes back to almost when you retired. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
And
that
it's
was
like,
an
okay,
ease.
creator, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, creator, if you want me to retire, you better show up and
Yeah.
show me within the 3 days, because if not, and the first 3 were close to $5,000 to make them. And I emptied out mostly my whole bank account. And I pulled off the side of the road. There was like this little flea market / store. I don't even know why I did. Well, I like that kind of stuff too, but I was going someplace else,
Yeah.
and that I thought was a distraction. So I'm walking in there. I'm like, what am I doing in here? And I found this rock with a little bear painting pattern on this rock. I went, oh, then maybe that's it. And I turned to the woman out of my mouth. I says, do you have any amber? And she goes, matter of fact, I have this amber necklace. And I says, yeah, I want some amber for this next hoop that I want. Let me see it. So they were like Wilma Flintstones, like
Yeah.
rocks like this, right?
Yeah.
How she has it around.
Yeah.
And it was 13 of them there. And it was $40. And I said to her, what is that? I says, is this real? She went, if it's real, it wouldn't be $40. And I was like, oh, I guess that's okay. We can just take it anyway, because they're really cool beads,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I threw it on my car, and I heard the beads actually say to me, we are real. So I was at this place that was a lot of vendors there, and there was
Mhm.
this Polish man there selling all kinds of amber, and I went, I got to show you this. So he's there talking to his wife all in Polish,
Yeah.
and he's rubbing things, rubbing it, and he's asking me questions. Where did you get it? And I did ask the woman to if she would take 30, and she did. And
Good
he goes to
negotiator.
me,
Good
I
negotiator.
know. And he says to me, this is like a TV show. And I went, what? What's that about? And he says to me, oh, he says, this is worth like $5,000.
Oh my goodness.
And I got my money back.
Wow. Creator had your back.
Well, what I'm saying to you, when it's coming through
Yeah.
creator,
You know.
there's so many magical things that happened here, with each one of them. But that's the most important part. If anybody gets anything out of this today,
Yeah.
is have trust and have a knowing, not of drive and a push, but just be, and you will feel a total difference of how creator guides you and how your ego guides you.
Is there a way that you can share to teach people, or even just something simple, that is it like going into stillness? Is it just calming your mind to just be?
Many people do a lot of different things around meditation.
Mhm.
I'm not good at that.
I'm not either.
I'll tell you that right now. You know where I get my information?
Yeah.
When I drive.
Can I tell you that I'm the same way? I get intuitive hits while I'm driving because I feel like I have to focus on the road, and when I'm focusing, then I get these like little hits and I'm like, good idea. Good idea.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Because I was with I was with a monk one time, and he wanted to teach me how to meditate. And so he's like, 1 through 10, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Fold your legs, put your fingers like this. So anyway, put tongue up on the roof of your mouth, slant your eyes, right? So anyway, we go into a meditation. Oh, and he says, before we go into the meditation, you're going to count numbers 1, 2, 3. But if a thought comes in, you have to go back to 1. So after the meditation, he says to me, how'd you do? I went, good. I did excellent. He goes, you did? I said, yes, I got to 1.
What did you say in the beginning? In the middle, you said you like to keep things simple. 10 steps is 10 steps too many.
So it depends on what it is for each one of
Right,
you.
of course.
And where you can settle your mind is just get a piece of paper with, I like using colored pencils
Mm.
or pencils. I glue good. I do not draw very well. Stick people, okay? So don't think that, oh, she's a master artist. I'm a good knotter. And I could really knot things, and I could get really tied up in my knots too. But I notice when I'm doodling is another thing, because what you're actually doing is moving your hands, dropping your mind into your heart, and bringing in that creativity. Another thing, my grandmother used to always say to me all the time, I think this is how she got me to wash dishes. But she goes, if you wash dishes, you'll get dreams.
I like that. I find
I
that
think she just wanted me to wash dishes. No,
she might have, but I'll tell you, when I'm feeling the energy's getting too heavy or something's not working for me, I get up and clean. I'll go and sweep, or I'll go and mop, or I'll go and
Right.
dust, because I have
Right.
to move the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, oh, something's not right. Or if I'm, like you said, if you're pushing yourself and you're like, why am I doing this? I have to get into some sort of action or movement.
Yeah.
That's so
Isn't
interesting.
it fun?
Sometimes.
Hey, you know what it is? You get your house clean anyway.
Yes. Yes.
That's
So one
good.
of the things I want to ask you is that you have a lot of events coming up, a lot of things
I
that are
do.
coming up. Can you share a little bit about what's coming up, or what are you most looking forward to? Probably everything, or what can you share a little bit of?
Well, I really enjoy Grandmother Three Crows. She comes up from
Ooh.
Kingston, and she brings a lot of beautiful drumming energy, and that's on July 9th. The 19th. We do some drumming with her. She makes her own songs, so
Ooh.
she shares her songs with us. So that's on the 19th.
Mhm.
I do have, I think, yeah, 17th is my drum making, but that is totally filled
Booked.
up.
You're always, yeah.
So I have also in August, the first weekend on the Saturday, I think it's the 4th or the 5th. I don't have my calendar in front
It's
of me.
okay.
I didn't. Is grandmother's gonna be doing a water ceremony
Mm.
up in Saratoga, and how to bless and create an altar and everything. So I really enjoy her teachings in a
Mhm.
lot of ways. It gives an opportunity for women and men to come. It does say women's songs, but it is open to
Mm.
men too.
Nice.
Um, and then on the 6, 7, and 8 is, I called it the shaman's tool chest
Yeah.
because that's what people know it as. And that's where it's a 3-day where we make a drum, a rattle, and one of the sacred dream circles. But it's an 8-inch, not 7 foot. But they're beautiful
Yeah.
and they come out really beautiful. And it's like your design, your spiritual design is what's coming out. What else am I doing? I'll be up in Ithaca doing the next weekend after that, a drum making up there. If anybody's around Ithaca, you can
Yeah.
check in with me because I don't have that on my website. We're gonna be doing a talking stick on a Friday night with the kids, and then Saturday's the drum making and a drum circle. And that is the firelight camping
Nice.
up in Ithaca, and it's glamping. It's glamping and camping.
Ooh,
And then I'm
fancy.
headed to Old Forge on Sunday to do drum making.
Do you find that you have a lot of kids that are drawn to this like kind of amazing work that you're doing with the sacred dream circles and the drums and I mean just kind of like being of the
So
earth and bringing in all that medicine?
when you're saying kids, what age?
Well, I think I said we work with 12 to 70. Like, I mean, maybe like preteens, teenagers, like,
I go to schools, camps, wilderness. I used to be doing wilderness skills way back in the day, but I can still do them.
that's amazing.
I used to have children's night out where the kids used to come to my teepee and they would create a musical instrument. We would talk about 2 different plants that was external. We would cook on the fire in a bark basket and then make popcorn and tell a story. And what they had to do, which was so pretty cool, was that they had to do a chore for them to come
Yeah.
for their family. So it was $7 and they had to do a chore. They had to sign a contract with their parents, but the parents also had to go out, had to be away from the computer, away from the house and
Right.
have date night or go out with friends. Because just as much as you need to separate from them, they need to separate from you. So what it does, it refreshes the both. So I do kids, going back to that. That was very sweet. But I haven't done it in a while. People do ask me to do homeschooling, so I am doing homeschoolers. They do come to my house,
Wow.
and I have all kinds of artifacts on the culture. So, and I talk about it and what I made, and they usually make something, usually some sort of rattle, and then we do storytelling and singing.
That's
That's with homeschoolers. So that's where I'm playing around with right now.
That's so cool. In the beginning, when you were giving your thanks, you gave thanks to the thunder beings. And I'm not familiar with the thunder beings. Can you tell us a little bit about the thunder beings?
Ragi Raris, Ragi Raris. What they are is the thunder and lightning.
Oh, as you're saying that, I can feel the energy coming in.
Yeah. So what the sweetness is, it rattles things up, it's the rattles. But yet the lightning comes down and cracks things open, right? First
Yeah.
the rattle, shh, and then it comes down, opens up, and then what happens? The rain comes down, comes down, comes down, hits into the mother, rebirths these beautiful seeds, which creates a life force that goes ah, 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 ah. And then beautiful life happens. Thunder beats.
I'm speechless. I'm sorry. That's amazing. I can feel it coming from, it's like coming into my feet and it's moving through my heart.
Yeah. And that's where the mother kisses the father. And what it is, the rain is actually the sperm and interjects into the mother, which creates birth and life.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm sorry, I'm like speechless. That's just, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I
Take a
do.
deep breath. Hold on, let's take a deep breath.
Yes.
Let's all of us just take a deep breath. And do the ah sound. Ah, ah.
Ah,
Take another deep breath and do hey,
hey,
hey. So I want you to feel the energy of ah. Ah, ah.
ah,
Can you feel it run right down you? Now do the hey,
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 mother or father. E,
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 nice and slow. E,
e.
E, awareness. E, where you're bringing the both together like this. And your eyes, this is the eyes of the illusion, where E opens up and your third eye opens. E. O. Do the O.
Oh,
O. O. Deep breath. O.
oh,
O is the great mystery. We always go, oh,
oh,
whenever somebody tells us something that we don't know. Ooh. Feel ooh.
ooh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Ooh.
ooh.
Ooh. Can you feel it all come in? Let's bring yourself back home. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. It's the vowels. It's the first of how we spoke to each other. We go, oh, eh, eh, oh, ooh. uh,
You're a beautiful channel.
we are the people the ancient ones talk about. We are the hope for the future generations. We are the weavers and we are the web. We are the mystics, the healers of the night. Oh, hear our call as we dance through this life. Oh, hear our prayers as we make it turn out right. Deep breath. Ah,
Ah,
ah, ah.
ah.
Because you know what? You feel it in the heart. And when you feel here, my grandmother said you can feel like this. What this is, I ate cheese. That was a no-no. And here is where you say I love, but
I
when you
love.
come here, I feel love. Yeah, I feel love.
If anything, when anyone's listening to this, they're going to feel a tremendous amount of love coming forward.
Thank you. I feel it from you. I feel it from them. I don't see them, but I feel them.
I would like to open it up now if anyone has any questions. Zelda, if anyone wants to book with you, what is the best way to get in touch with you? Is it through your website? Through
Yeah, you can ring me up.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
I
make
don't
sure to
know if you can email me,
okay.
which my website is zeldahotaling.com.
Yeah.
Easy enough. And you could read about everything that I'm doing. Sign up for the newsletter. When you do that, that's when you'll get the information of the classes. I do not really write a newsletter. It's like, but that signs you up. So then when I do my little MailChimps, that's easy. Hey, buddy, can you ship all this out?
It's so true. It's
And
good to get it out. Yeah.
yeah, or you can, the 732 number, excuse me for a minute.
If anyone wants to come off of mute and ask a question or to share anything, you can come off of mute now, or if you want to go on video, so that way Zelda can see you.
Yeah, what I do is, creator is I don't go into the future. So creator uses me as sometimes as a medium, as someone to help and guide, as a, some guidance, healing. So each person has a different view of things. So I'm not there to change them or tell you what to do or what I see in the future. It's not my business. My business is my isness. And when I am with somebody, I ask creator to rise us both up to where creator holds us here. And so the information comes down and you start talking to me, and my information comes down and I talk to you. So I feel like any type of tools or any guidance that can help you to the next step, that's more appropriate. That way, you're not looking into the future because you see the cake, but you just have a bowl of ingredients. So how do I get to do everything to get to that spot? And that's what I like to bridge.
I love that. Daphne, do you want to say anything? Or Gloria? You can come off of mute. No? Daphne does.
No, it was just interesting to me when you were talking about your process with the drums and how you bring a person to the point where the break happened or whatever in their childhood, where I can't remember how you phrased it, how they get stuck or whatever. I got very emotional when you said that.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So that part resonated with you. And
yeah, I have no idea why.
Well, and sometimes we don't even need to know why. What it is that we were able, whatever it is that jiggled and wiggled inside you to create that and open that up, that gave you the possibility of that feeling coming up that you were seen and heard.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
So
that.
when I was sharing that is what I love is to hold each person, because each one of us are children that have stuff. And where is it that we could be held, or we can remember where it is that we laid that little piece aside for that moment to protect that part of us.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gloria, do you want to share anything? No? Okay. All righty. So Zelda, I know that we're going to be, I usually say hello.
I can see her now. Hello.
Aw,
What do you have on your shirt?
to stronger,
Your sweater. What does it say?
stronger,
I don't know.
stronger together. Oh, stronger together.
That's right, sister. You got it.
So Zelda, we're going to be wrapping this up because I know you're a very busy lady. And I just want to ask you, is there anything that you want to share wisdom wise or anything that anyone is going through? I mean, there's a lot of energy, spiritual awakenings that are happening right now. People that are kind of looking for this kind of medicine, healing, any advice that you can share to anyone that's listening on this call?
What keeps on coming to me is open up your creativity, whatever it is that can expand great possibilities for your healing. What happens is we go around in circles and we try to figure things out. And it's not about trying to figure it out. What it is just to touch and love yourself and express yourself in whatever way. May it be through art, may it be through washing dishes, cleaning, gardening, or walking your dog, or taking photos. You know, sometimes some people take photos. And if you're going to do photos, I want you to lay on the ground and look up, give different angles of a certain thing that you're seeing, whatever it is create it and see it in all different sides. Because when you see it in all different sides, there's opportunities of expression to come out where you can see things differently that you can change in your life.
I love that. I love that. Well, Zelda, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on to the Spiritual
Yeah.
Spotlight series. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing these new sacred circles, sacred dream circles that are going to be coming out.
Yeah.
It's
Go
gonna
to
be
zeldahotaling.com and you'll see everything. You can ring me up. I
Yeah.
do use time here. So some people call me up and what they do is they just want to sit with the circles. And I give them time about maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. And I have them, I'll bring a journal and I just ask them to give a donation in the basket. But if they start asking me to work, then that's a whole different story.
a whole different ball game, you guys.
Ah,
It's a whole different ball game.
yeah, so I appreciate everyone being here. And so the closing, the song is I hey away ho hey nay. 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 Hey away ho hey nay, hey nay. I hey away ho hey nay. I hey away ho hey nay. I hey away ho hey nay. Hey away ho hey nay, hey nay. I hey away ho, hey away ho, hey away ho, hey nay. Thank you.
Thank you, Zelda. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Everyone have a great night, and we will see you guys all next week for another Spiritual Spotlight series.
Okay. See you
Thank you,
later.
Zelda.
You're welcome. See ya.